What's up, guys? So I'm a little disappointed that Rufus from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure left us. So Carl looks exactly like George Carlin. Exactly. So, yeah, I wasn't even sure I was going to come tonight because I was a little dicked over by a guy tonight. So I don't know what your name is, but it happens to girls too. Girls and guys, both douchebags. Sorry, I almost singled you out a little bit. I'm talking to you. Yeah, but I feel like my problem is just like, he said he was going to come and then he didn't. It was like nothing. But if this sweetens the pot any, last time I went to the doctor and he looked at my ears, he said my ear canals are a quarter the size of regular adults. So, fellas. Fellas.
It's not going to work.
Let's see. So, I've been in New York about 2 years, and I love it. It's great. But people tell me a lot that I don't act like a New Yorker, especially like how I walk, like how I cross the street and stuff, which I think is kind of bullshit. I don't think that that's something that you should necessarily replicate. I don't think I should be a douchebag once I move here, and I feel like it's like, you move here and someone like debriefs you and they're like, okay, here's your Toms, here is your copy of She and Him on vinyl, and if you see a pigeon, you fucking kick it. And I don't, and I won't. Yeah, so I don't really have a punchline to this, but so I'm a social work grad student, and I'm interning at a homeless services agency, and the homeless people are great, and but I see a lot of homeless people, well, I don't know if they are. In fact, it's a lot of like businessmen sleeping on park benches, and I feel like maybe today's the day they decided, you know what, fuck it all, this is my first day of homelessness. Like, I'm just lying down. I had a bad day at work, bench time. Alright. Yeah, so, hipsters. People love to hate on them. I'm not a huge fan, but, like, they don't really directly affect me in any way, except in one particular way. I can't find things that I'm used to eating in bodegas or grocery stores that I didn't think were necessarily regional, and they're not. But I really love Ritz Bit sandwiches, love them, and especially when I drink, I always crave them. And I went to a bodega in Williamsburg, Kim's, if you guys are familiar, and no Ritz Bit sandwiches, not even like organic, like, you know, versions of, nothing even close. And the person I was with at the time was like, well, just buy crackers and get peanut butter. I'm like, no, it's not the same. And you know what they did have, though? They had krill oil and squid flakes. And the fact that they have them means that there's a fucking demand for them. You know, I just picture, like, this hipster couple being like, you know what, babe? You know what would go really well with this kale and fucking tofu chickpea goulash we're having tonight? Fucking squid flakes. And Kim's has them, but I don't get my crackers. So this is just an observation. When I have a pretty good memory, but stuff from when I was like really little sort of comes back to me now, like in flashes. And I remember the other day that, you know, my dad's not necessarily a very masculine man. I don't like sports. I didn't grow up with it. Even though I went to Penn State, I'm like the only person that wasn't way into football. And I wonder, I don't think I have any daddy issues, but I wonder if this somehow affected me, because I remember walking into my basement and my dad lifting 3 weights, which, a little masculine, and I remember him listening to a Walkman and me asking him, what are you listening to? And he took the headphones and he put them on my ears, and it was the Miami Sound Machine. And unironically, it was like 1986. Like, he just really fucking loved Gloria Estefan. So, somehow, I feel like that has to affect me somehow. So, don't have too much. I will say, I've spent some time in East New York for school, for my internship, and I lived in Baltimore too, and regardless, I don't get hit on really, I don't get asked out that much, but black dudes and Hispanic dudes fucking love me. I don't know why.
I do.
Yes, ma'am?
Same reason they like me.
Yeah. My burthens.
My burthens.
So, anyway, but the thing is, they just scream, like, white people names at me. Like, I'll be walking down the street and they'll be like, ooh, Christina Aguilera, Jessica Simpson. I'm like, I guess. Like, I'm blonde and I'm white. But I feel like the reverse of that, if I was just like, Trey Songz, like, that's kind of fucking racist. Like, you just, like, yell black singer person at someone? Like, I don't know. But I don't know. I guess if that's the worst... people tell me I look like attractive women. But when I used to live in Baltimore, like I said, and when in grad school we have to talk about, a lot of my classes are on like racism and oppression and stuff, and I'm like one of the only Caucasian females in my program, and we'll talk about, in a circle we'll talk about our own things that have happened to us, and this is like the worst thing that's happened to me that I could come up with. When I lived in Baltimore, I worked at this Jamaican restaurant, and I was the only white lady to work there, and I noticed that people would scream names at me that weren't my own, but just regular names. Like, they'd be like, Jenny, and then I'd have to serve them, and it was, like, strange. And I would get Becky a lot, and I didn't really understand it until, I thought I looked like Becky from Roseanne, which I kind of do. I mean, I have sort of like the same haircut, and I'm short. But I was telling my friend this, and he was like, no, it's totally the Sir Mix-a-Lot song, Baby Got Back. Oh my god, Becky, look at her butt, it's so big. So basically calling me a valley girl. But if that's the worst thing that I can come up with, then I guess I'm pretty lucky. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you.